Hey everyone, it's Tim with Ghost Towns of Washington, and this weekend we are back in one of our favorite places to explore in all of Washington State, and that is Okanogan County. And we're going to start this weekend off with a trip to one of the best preserved mine sites probably in the entire state, and we're going to call this the Bunkhouse mine. This mine dates back to about 1915 and was worked through the 40s. So we're super excited to share this site with you, and we hope you really enjoy this adventure. Before we get going, though, we wanted to say thanks for following us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And the Bunkhouse Mine Adventure begins now. We made our way up onto this trail, which I'm not really sure if this was the original miner's trail or mine to market road back in the day. There was a wagon road that went out to this site originally. Whether this is exactly it or not, I'm not sure, but it's plausible it was. So we've got quite a ways to go still to get out there. We just started. Along the way, if we run into anything of interest, we'll put that on camera for sure. But we'll see you as we get closer to the site. Making our way up the trail, we just came up on a gully and the bunkhouse just came into view. So I'll pan over, and right in the center of the screen you can see it there. Next we're going to make our way around this gully, and the trail will continue around, and then we should be at the mine site here momentarily. We're making our way around the bend here, and the bunkhouse should be coming into view here. And this is just one of my favorite structures at a mine, probably anywhere in Washington. It is really, really cool. As far as structures go, they really don't get too much better than this in my opinion. I mean, for Washington anyway. I'm sure in other parts of the country, Nevada, Colorado, Montana, there's a lot of this still, but usually these structures are gone, either by fire or just time and elements. So it's just awesome that this has survived and is still here. So we'll get some more exterior views of it, but we'll take a walk up and look inside here. So one of the really cool things is if you look down at these floorboards, you can see they're hand hewn. And then if I remember correctly, there is some writing on the wall somewhere. I'll have to find it. On this wall, on the front, I'll try to get a view here. There is a bunch of writing, and it's really hard to make out on this side. I'll try to decipher this and put it below. But over here, there's some writing that goes to 1918. The year you can see November 14th. And this one over here has 19, it looks like maybe 44. And up here, there's some from 65. And you can see the bed frame here. I'm going to head carefully upstairs here and look and see what we got up there. These stairs are not too terribly bad, but there are a few holes in the floor, so I'm going to be careful going across this here. View out the upstairs window. Now we're going to make our way back downstairs, take a look at the exterior some more, and then we'll move on to the other parts of the site. We're back outside the bunkhouse. I'm going to drop down a little bit below it here so we can show you a view of the front. Next, we're going to make our way further down the trail and get to the mill site. And there's lots to see there, so we'll see you at the mill site. Making our way from the bunkhouse down this trail. We're coming up on the mill, which should be in view here in the center of your screen. You can probably see the roof of it about now. So the mill is built on a 45-degree slope, which is pretty common for mills like this, as they use gravity to assist the milling process. And this is a two-stamp mill. It also had a jaw ore crusher, which should still be here. So we're going to go up and take a closer look at the mill and some of the equipment inside. We made it up into the mill. It's a little bit tricky to get up in here. You have to kind of scale some boards. But right now, what we're looking at is the rock crusher, the jaw crusher, that they'd use to get the ore down to a smaller size before it was run through the stamps. One time, and I can't remember if it was still intact when I was here, it doesn't look like it was, but there were some stairs that were still somewhat usable. Obviously these aren't. There you can see a drum for a belt. So this crusher had about a 1.5 to 2.5 ton per hour capacity, and it was run on a 6 horsepower engine. Kind of pan around and just show you the inside of the structure here. You can see the roof is missing in this section, as it is in a lot of it down below. So now, back on the sketchy boards, and we'll take a look below and show you the crushers. On the side of the mill here, we'll show you a little better view of it. It is a very impressive structure. So we're going to make our way down the side here and see if we can get in there and look at these stamps, as the stamps are still here, which is another somewhat rare item that you're going to ever see. Normally the stamps were taken out either after mining ceased or at some later point and moved to a museum or somebody's backyard or whatever. Okay, so we made our way into the mill and we're looking at the Fairbanks Morse 2-stamp mill. The patent date on this was November 29 of 1904 for these stamps. And then up to the right, you can see the big wooden flywheel, which was connected to a shaft, and that would have moved the cams up and down to run the stamps. And then down here we have this table that the ore would have came onto, which is called a vanner table. And then the processing would have continued right off the edge down to this third tier, which is pretty collapsed now. To give you an idea, in June of 1915, this mine was worked by a crew of 12, and they processed just a little over 3,000 pounds of ore through this mill. I'm going to see if we can get around to the other side. I don't know how good it is over there, so I'm going to turn the camera off and we're going to see if we can make our way around. Now we're going to make our way a little lower on the mill and see what else we can find down here and take a look back up at it from below.
Careful walking in here, watch for nails.
This is looking up at the structure from the 3rd level tier below. As you can see, a lot of this part of the structure is gone, but it's still a really cool structure to find out here with all the equipment in it, and as much of it that's still here is it's pretty amazing and awesome. That's why it's one of our favorite mine sites to visit. Next, we're gonna make our way back up top and head towards the actual mine itself. And then as we swing back through here, we'll share some more footage of these 2 structures, the bunkhouse and the mill. So we'll see you shortly when we get to the mine. Making our way down the trail to the portal. Last time we were here, this portal was pretty flooded, so I'm expecting the same. Along the trail here is some, get my shadow out of the way, some ore cart axle and wheels. So while we're up on the hillside, we came across a structure we were following up, and it looks like the remains maybe of a surface tramway. And there are these beams that were parallel to each other, and they continued up the hillside. And there was some strapping laying next to some of these beams, so it looks like the strapping may have been mounted to the beam to transport ore down. Not a whole lot left of it, but it kind of just continues up there. There's more strapping for the surface tramway. So we're just going to keep following this up, and we'll see you at the top. So we were making our way across the ridge line, and we came across, and what came into view is the waste dump, what it looks like for the mine. So we're just going to go down in this little gulch and then back up the other side, and we should be at the mine here in a very short amount of time if we don't fall down the hillside. Ooh. All right, we'll see you when we get to the top here. All right, so we're at the waste dump now, and we're just going to walk up the side of the hill here and get up to the top. Okay, we are at the portal, which is going to be a tight squeeze, and most likely it's going to be full of water, at least 3 feet deep. So we're gonna turn off the camera, get our stuff on, and we'll see you on the inside. So now we're gonna slide down into this. It's gonna be a little tight squeeze, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to film sliding down in. But we'll see you once we get through this rat hole. Okay, we slid down into the portal here, and as you can see, I'll try to get as low as I can here in the water. That it at least has 3 feet of water in it, roughly. So right in front of us, I'm sure you've already spotted it, is an ore cart. Years ago, before the portal started to collapse and cave, this was a pretty dry mine, so the ore cart was fully exposed. And you can see it, it's a little hard to see now, but it's under all this water. Push past it here, and then we can take another look at it. We're going to continue down the tunnel here. This tunnel is approximately 400 or so feet, maybe close to 500. Starts to shallow up a little bit as you get back here. It goes from probably 3 feet or so, maybe down to 2 feet. You can see the strap rail. And looks like a bit of single jack. Some other drill steel here. So we got little area they were starting to work into, it looks like. And then if we swing around here, the tunnel continues a little bit and comes to an end. And just looking around to make sure we're not missing anything as far as any carbide lamp writing or anything in here. I don't remember there being any, but So we're making our way back towards the entrance. Probably can see the water level is coming up on the camera, so I've been trying to hold it level and steady so you can kind of see the change. And we're back to the ore cart. Take one last look at the ore cart here, the best we can. Can look inside of it, see. There's nothing really in it. There's some silt and some wood. Keep making our way back towards the entrance. You can see how colorful these walls are. Okay, we're back at the entrance and make our crawl out of this. And we'll be outside to see you in a minute. Okay, so that's the crawl out version. And we are back out, and muddy, but on dry land. Walk over here to the waste dump. Take a look over the edge here. So the assays for this mine were about 1/4 ounce of gold and about 1 3/4 ounce of silver per ton. As I mentioned down below, I believe at its peak in 1915, this mine had 12 men working it, and it's believed that this mine shut down around 1946. So we'll take a quick look over here. I'll give you an idea what the waste dump looks like in full.